name's Jen. I'm just going to run through some techniques for some lower body work that you might either do at home or you're doing stuff and you're not sure if it's right or not. So we're going to start off with squats. What you need to remember is you need to keep the abdominals nice and embraced. So if you imagine you had a belt and it has about 10 holes on it, you want to be able to pull in so you're on about hole number 5. So you don't want to be holding your breath, but you want to have a contraction around the abdominals. You also want to make sure you're pulled up from pelvic floor. Easiest way for me to explain that, not the nicest way, but imagine that you need to weight squeezing up so you've got that contraction around into the pelvic floor. Your shoulders are always down and away from ears, and you're keeping your chest lifted. You also want to make sure that you don't get an overarch in the back or a hunching in the back either, so it's nice and straight, and your glute, which is your bottom, is always tucked under. Your feet always start about hip distance apart, and also you want to be aware that your knees don't go in front of your toes. So what we're aiming for is to sit back into the heels and imagine that we're pushing through the heels as well. So it's basically we're sticking our bum back as far as it'll go. So you start with your feet hip distance, abdominals are pulled in. As you stick down into the heels, you're keeping yourself looking forward. Your glutes are aiming towards the floor, so you're aiming to make a 90-degree angle. But just turn on the sides, everything's pulled in, sitting down and then coming straight back up. You want to avoid any arching or any coming round to the back. You're literally just sitting into the heels and then coming back up. Again, ensuring that your knees don't go in front of your toes, so you're putting all the weight into the heels at the back. So that's your squat. Your next one is a lunge. You'll always have one leg in front of the other, and you're looking for a nice wide stance if you can make it. Your back heel is always slightly off the floor, but the front foot will remain flat. You're keeping your hips facing the front at all times. Abdominals are nice and contracted just as they were in the squat, and you're keeping the upper body nice and straight. Keeping the hands away from the thighs, either on the hips or out in front. As you go down, you're aiming for both knees to bend and get a 90-degree angle, and then come straight back up. You also want to make sure that the front knee doesn't go over the toe. So I'll just do a side view. The abdominals in, shoulders back, straight down and straight back up. Obviously not letting the back foot touch the floor, but straight down and straight back up. You might find when you're on different legs and you're alternating, one leg's easier than the other. Keeping your balance, if you find yourself wobbling, put your hands out, or again squeeze in, straight down and straight up. Keeping everything nice and tall, nice and contracted, and straight down and straight up. Just making sure that there's no pressure on this lower back. It's our quads, our hamstrings and our gluteals where we should be feeling this. If you've got any further questions or are not too sure, feel free to email me or just join me on my website, which is www.onebodyfitness.co.uk. Thank you.